Hello again, welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf here with Eric Sfiligoj. So we hear there's a lot of, well first of all, I just want to say, this is actually, I feel naked without the cup of coffee here. Not literally, but I feel so. This is my last cup today. I've been advised by my heart doctor I should really reel back seriously on the caffeine. I went in for some palpitations and stuff like that. So they're going to do a monitor, but he said, drinking coffee at night is not a recommended practice.
Who does this?
I do. So I'm a sick individual. But
I couldn't. I mean, if I did that, I know I have to cut myself off from the caffeine just after like 5, because otherwise I can't fall asleep in the night. I don't know how you do it. So it's impressive.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have an espresso. It just doesn't seem to impact me at all. So I don't know. So
Okay.
we're gonna reel back on that and do some other things and see.
Okay.
But I got that word yesterday, which is kind of a bummer. But I will not be without my coffee here at Retail Week.
I was going to say, I have fears that maybe bottled water is going to be in our future, or Sobe or something like that.
No, that's just weird. I can't do that.
Not going to do that. Okay.
No. So we, like many others in the Midwest, not that you would ever just sit around and do nothing, is certainly kind of the order of the day is, polishing up that machinery and making sure everything's ready one more time, because we just can't seem to get ourselves started here with the spring for the most part in the Midwest.
Yeah, I know here in Ohio yesterday we didn't have any significant accumulation, but pretty much it was a day-long snow. And as we're recording this, it's April 18th, so I mean, it's not been fun. I know my friends in Iowa, northern Iowa, have been sending me pictures over the weekend of 7-inch snow drifts in front of their garage doors and in front of their houses. So our sympathies go out to anyone who had thoughts of trying to get some field work done here in the month of April. It doesn't seem like it's happening at the moment.
Yeah, it's tough. I've been making calls for our Precision Ag Accelerator conference. That's been one positive, is I've actually have meaningful conversations with folks who are answering the phone and not particularly busy at this point. But talk to the folks at Helena, talk to the folks at Growmark, talk to some folks up in South Dakota where we're hosting the event, and it's pretty much universal. I mean, whether it's too much moisture or too cold, or just incredibly insane snow that they're had in South Dakota, and there was another winter weather advisory that popped up on my phone. Track these things, just like God, can't get any shelter. But hopefully, and in looking at there are some graphics out there about typical where we're typically at where we're at 80%. Where we typically be at 80%. Some of those places in the upper plains are fourth week of May. Most in the second, third week of May that they're at 80%. So take a lot of melting, a lot of drying in a hurry to get into that typical year, but hopefully we'll be there soon.
Yeah, we'll wonder if the crop mix changes too. I know there's supposed to be more soybean going in the ground this year than corn, but we'll have to see if weather keeps throwing a monkey wrench into the equation, if that will hold true.
Yep. So we've been working on an email news broadcast, a daily dicamba update through Crop Life, which has been a lot of really positive response for it. If you haven't seen it, drop us an email. Feel free to sign up for that through the website. We're working with folks at Purdue and a number of other experts on just really a variety of different aspects of dicamba. And we're also doing some Q&As with some of you all that are out there that we're talking to with some of the things that you dealt with last year and are dealing with this year. So it's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of just good big fact-based kinds of tips and things that we're doing to get out and make sure that we're doing the right thing for dicamba this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned Accelerator. How are things going with that? Since you bring
it's
it
going
up?
pretty well. It's interesting. Every discussion and every talk that we have with the retailers that are out there have a little bit of a different way that they approach precision and different perspective on who would come. It seems to be the consensus is the folks that are managing the precision ag programs at the higher level, not the folks that are necessarily on the ground, but really the folks that are managing people, and resources and working with the agronomy department, all those kind of folks that are managing at a higher level are the ones that are probably most, the best candidates. And we're well on the way to getting to the probably 80 to 85 individuals that we hope to have at the event. So space will be limited. I mean, we're at a smaller, more intimate facility at South Dakota State. So our site, we can't really do much to increase the size of our attendance. So encourage you, if you're interested, give me a call or drop us an email to ask more questions about it. But it looks like it's going to be a terrific event. We'll have a really broad, interesting crew of folks there.
Okay. Well, one thing to share with the audience, I know we've been following consolidation, of course, and we found out just before we came on camera here that our friends at Syngenta have made a purchase, bought a vegetable seed company, Abbott and Cobb, to add to their portfolio. So Paul, I remember a few weeks back we had mentioned at the Commodity Classics, Syngenta had said they were doubling down on their seed presence in the marketplace, hoping to be a strong number 3 behind Pioneer and Monsanto. So this is apparently the latest step in that goal.
Mm-hmm. Seeing more. I've seen some stories on LinkedIn from them about NK seeds and trying to raise the profile of that brand. So we're gonna, I think, see all the basics really look to solidify their brand presence now that we're, the mergers are settling down, and we're down to just a handful of large seed companies.
Although BASF will now has a presence in seeds, so that'll be an interesting little part of the mix as well.
Absolutely, yeah, lots to keep an eye on.
All right.
Well, that's it for this edition of Crop Life Retail Week. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.